Now I'm at the point you wanna be with me. I'm vibing out at a higher frequency, cause everything that I want and I'm gonna be, it's when I wake up, that's when I start to dream. Someone you love is talking down, here is the plan. Let it fall through like a handful of sand. Nothing happens overnight, what you must understand. If you dwell on the bad, then you don't stand a chance. Something you want upset, saying why it ain't mine yet. That's because now you have yet to change your mindset. People don't put their mind to rest while they're so wired. A lot of people go to sleep and wake up tired. Power of positivity and persistence. Say that I can, we'll just sit back and witness. Make an impact when our time is done. Make money, help people, and have lots of fun. Whoa.
Welcome to Office Hours, hosted by legendary sports executive, entrepreneur, and investor David Meltzer, where the brightest entrepreneurial minds in business, sports, and entertainment get together to talk about success, failure, and everything in between.
I have no self-worth tied up in Gary Vee or Gary Vaynerchuk, the entrepreneur. My self-worth is fully and utterly 100% attached to how I treat human beings.
I think love is the answer to everything as well. Love and compassion and justice and fairness, and which are all aspects of love.
The most important question anybody can ask is, what would I do and love every day, even if I were failing?
Take a deep dive into the mind of some of the world's most impactful guests.
And the reality is, life here on Earth is very short compared to eternity, and we don't spend a lot of time thinking about eternity and what that looks like.
People get new computers, they get new iPhones, they upgrade their apps. But when's the last time we upgraded, the technology that's created all of these things?
So I always challenge my audience and people I talk to about, sometimes is there a door in your life you have to close for other doors to open?
To share their strategies and tools to dominate their respective fields.
When we repeat anything, whether it's a constructive good pattern or a destructive bad pattern, our brain reinforces it just like a muscle.
All a belief is a story that you've said over and over again. Maybe you caught it from someone else or you had a specific experience.
Know who you are, know what you want, and make adjustments trying to get there.
David Meltzer hosts Office Hours.
Ice grinder going. Excuse me, sir. Can I get some ice? I know you got a live show, but go ahead, David.
Yeah. Look, man, you do what you got to do, and next time I'm not going to upgrade to the junior suite when she tells you can't do your training here. You got in at 2 a.m. There was a thunderstorm in New York last night, as you know, Ramon. So anyway, you do what you got to do to pour into the community. So I'll just shake up my perspective and just say this is what we do and how we do it. I'm going to go ahead and set. Nick, Nick's done at Fanatics Fest. I'm not sure he's in a place.
Come on now.
I love it. The Nick of Guam, who also got stuck on the runway. I know you didn't get until 1 or 2 a.m. as well. Go ahead, set the room so we can get this shake up your perspective training going.
Absolutely. Happy Friday, everybody. We are live from New York City. We are in town for the incredible Fanatics Fest. And we are going to kick off this incredible day with another Free Friday training. David's been doing them for over 26 years. And today's topic, as we have all heard, is shake up your perspective. So David is going to guide us for what is the first 30 minutes of this training. And then we will open it up for Q&A. So no matter where you're joining us from, if you're online, as of course we are streaming everywhere, make sure to put your questions in the chat. If you're live here in the Breakfast with Champions, the best room and community in Clubhouse, If you're in the audience, use the hand icon to request to join the stage as you have your questions for David today. And of course, if you are already on stage, please just put a note in the room chat and I will be happy to pass the microphone your way. And without further ado, David, passing it back over to you, my friend. Let's get rocking and rolling and shake up our perspective.
No problem. If anybody wants the guide exercise on this training, as always, just email me, david@dmeltzer.com. Also, want to just briefly, we're going to be at Fanatics Fest today and tomorrow. We got Victor Cruz, Michael Chandler, Gail King's here. Tomorrow, Gary Vee and I will be together. So swing by, come and see us. We'd love to see you at Fanatics Fest. We had a VIP dinner tonight, meet up, holding court as usual, tons of interviews as well. And then on Sunday, we'll have the special Aspire Business Growth Tour and get to share the stage with my normal bros, Eddie Wilson and Andrew Cordell, Tim Story, David Goggins. But we got a special on-stage guest with me, the amazing Kevin Costner. First time I get to meet him. Super excited about the Aspire Business Tour. Blessed to be on that as well. So email me, david@dmeltzer.com. We'll be doing meetups, holding courts. We'll be at Fanatics Fest today and tomorrow. Some great guests with us. And then on Sunday in Las Vegas, shaking up the dice, Glenn Lundy there in Las Vegas, and then back to California to film Go Fund Yourself. Congratulations to Rory Katai, Jason Waller, as our show is now #1 on Cheddar and working up to the bigger networks. We'll see what happens there. It's definitely shaking up the dice when you're dealing with TV shows and movies. Anyway, we're going to get started with this idea of shaking up your perspective. Your perspective is everything, and it's based off of all of these uncertain assumptions. There's only one certainty in assuming something, and that's that you'll have 24 hours to execute on it. That's the only certainty that you have. In life and business, the way we see the world profoundly influences the relativity, the meaning, the outcomes we experience. Many of us get stuck in a fixed loop, patterns of doing, saying, thinking, feeling, and believing, which limits our ability to innovate, co-create, grow, and even clear the interference between us and that which we desire in an infinite, abundant, unified system. Some people call it overcoming obstacles. I call it shortening the distance of resistance that we're creating from the infinite. This training that I designed is help all of us shake up the assumptions, shake up our perspective, figure out where the clues and the patterns are so we can make different choices. Can't solve a problem in the same consciousness in which it was created. We want to intentionally disrupt the default mechanisms of the conscious, subconscious, and our unconscious competencies that create these default modes and infinite loops, the thermostat of why we end up in the same place no matter what we do. We need to do, say, think, feel, and believe to unlock the fresh insights, co-creativity, commandments, create new possibilities and a perspective based on gratitude and forgiveness in order to learn from being responsible, attracting, and participating in a different perspective. As we learn to shift our lenses of productivity, accessibility, and gratitude, we not only break free from these limiting patterns that are in the conscious continuum, but also develop this resilience to enjoy what we don't like or love, enjoy the incremental growth through gratitude and empathy to create the clarity, the harmony, and the focus to make better decisions, meaning that they're aligned with where we want to be or better. Better decisions, not bad decisions, which are behaviors that are interfering with where we want to be or better, where you want to be, not where I want to be or other people want to be or what's missing or what you don't have. In the following lessons, we will explore these powerful frameworks and tools and exercises which are available to you. Just email me, david@dmeltzer.com, to help you shake up your perspective, reframe the struggles, the challenges, and embrace the given in your life, the opportunity, options, and the touches of favor to renew a sense of purpose, passion, and even probability with the energy, the infinite energy in which you're interfering with. So let's begin this journey of transformation by learning to see the world through new lenses of productivity, accessibility, and gratitude. You see what you believe is the first lesson. In the shaking up the perspective, we have to realize that you only see what you believe, and you have the power to believe whatever you want. You give meaning to everything you see, which is the relativity and the perspective that you have. Our perspective shapes all of our experiences, what we do, say, think, feel, and believe. And if we stay stuck in this fixed intention of what we do, say, think, feel, and believe, we limit our ability to grow and innovate and co-create and command, work with the universe, with God. A person who believes they are stuck in their career, their marriage, their other relationships, their activities because of external circumstances, rather than seeing it as an opportunity for growth, learning, commandment, and collaboration to learn where to be or better. We want to do, say, think, feel, and believe, and see what we want to believe. And the external circumstances are all uncertain circumstances. And so using non-negotiable and negotiable behavior aligned with where we want to be or better will allow us to see the relativity, give meaning to what we believe. You don't see the world as it is. You see it as you are. You can't find outside of you what you're not seeing inside of you. You don't see this world as it is. You only see it as you are. When you change your perspective, you change your reality. So when you change the way you look at things, as Xanders and Dyer and many others have said, the things you look at change. We need to start recognizing how these beliefs that cause you to do, say, think, and feel shape the world you perceive. And we need to shift these lenses of productivity, accessibility, and gratitude by questioning and suggestioning your assumptions. And we need to change these stories consciously that we keep telling ourselves, so that subconsciously the stories are in a positive perspective, and we start shifting our energy through our unconscious competency. You see what you believe, and you have the power to believe whatever it is you want to see. Why do we want to shake it up? Perturbation, if you read Marshall Thurber and Social Deviance, perturbation is the way things change. When things are not in the comfort zone, if everything exists in the comfort zone, it would actually shrink, the same as if everything existed in an anxiety zone. The inward pressure would constrict our ability. And comfort zones breed stagnation and constrict our capability without disrupting the fixed patterns that are usually subconscious and unconscious in their nature. We can't tap into the co-creativity, the expansion, the collaboration, the coordination, the commandments of a bigger infinite source and create new solutions, opportunities, options, and touches of favor. An entrepreneur who follows the same routine every day but feels stuck is not able to innovate, despite facing, especially today, an accelerated market. With so many new market changes come new market challenges, which also creates new market opportunity, options, and touches of favor. It is in itself helping us shake it up to create a new perspective, but only if we have that open-minded, open-hearted attitude of gratitude in order to facilitate the light, the love, and the lessons in these challenges and struggles and changes. Don't waste them. Shaping up your perspective dissolves your interference. Shaking up your perspective dissolves what others call the ego, to dissipate the edging of God out of your life, gold out of your life, growth out of your life. We want to foster gratitude and empathy to create the lessons through responsibility, attraction, and the participation in a new perspective that creates new avenues for creative problem solving by shortening the distance. A problem solving is in the respect of every problem already has a solution in. It's just a lapse of time between the problem and the solution. And anyone, as we get older and older, see that every problem has a solution. It's just a matter of time. And we want to shorten the distance. We want to shorten the time that exists between our awareness of where that solution exists. There's multiple solutions that will create a better place, a better position in every problem. And it's just a matter of time until we work through different solutions, different indicators, different perspectives of protection, promotion, love, and perfection through the light, the love, and the lessons of finding those there. When we are able and capable of identifying these areas in your life or work where you are stuck, we now can look for those clues. We can decipher the patterns, and we can make a shake. We can make a shake it up. We can change our choices. When we change our choices, we change our relativity. When we change our relativity, we change what we do, say, think, feel, and believe, and we change the outcomes. And when we create consistent, persistent pursuit within the context of those outcomes, we now have a greater ability to grow, to change, to expand. So we want everyone to actively seek the discomfort by challenging those routines, those patterns, and step out of the comfort zone that is limiting your expansion, your growth, your potential. The next thing we want to do beyond changing the way we believe and seeing something different and shaking it up is to reframe the framework, shifting our lenses of productivity, accessibility, and gratitude. REFRAME. When we reframe, we recognize the assumptions. We recognize the current lenses of productivity, accessibility, and gratitude. We start to understand the current perspective that we have in order to see the clues and the patterns to unlock the truth and shorten the distance of resistance with not only the wisdom of the lessons that we learn, but the faith that we're protected and promoted, not punished. And if you don't recognize your lens, you can't shift it. So the awareness that exists within the construct of our recognition to remind, remember, and recognize what already exists is so important. So many employers get frustrated with coworkers who might be viewing the situation from a place of pride, ego, control, and they prevent the effective communication that's necessary to have an inspired workplace. And we need to unlock that perspective. We need to ask people what they like and what they don't like, what's working, what's not working, where and how they can improve by what their current lens is. And this awareness of your own lenses is the first step to creating the change by recognizing these clues, patterns, and making different and better choices. What we want to do is ask ourselves, what story am I telling myself about this situation? How am I participating in this perspective in order to change it? We need to identify whether the lenses of productivity, accessibility, or gratitude are being interfered with fear, scarcity, pride, or control, with the reaction to those in the need to be right, a need to be offended, a need to be separate, inferior, superior, anxious, frustrated, angry, or guilty. Understanding how to recognize our current lens are. Next, E in reframe. We want to examine our defaults. How are we reacting every time that these situations occur in our lives? Our assumptions and our emotional responses often interfere and shape our perspective and limit us in so many multitudes, in so many ways. So many leaders assume that their team doesn't need guidance because they've always worked independently, but they're missing the opportunity to support and develop other people with questions and suggestions to perturbate and shake up their perspective. Our assumptions may be creating unnecessary barriers to success by not examining these defaults. We need to question the assumptions, give suggestions to the assumptions that are guiding our actions. Reflection, reminder, and remembrance within the context of examining our defaults allows the emotions to expose themselves of how they're driving our decisions. These default mechanisms of responding to fear are instant and obvious. We sometimes call those triggers. So what is it that causes us to have a need to be right, separate, inferior, superior, anxious, frustrated, angry, guilty, all of these different interferences between us and where we want to be or better? So E is examining our triggers, our defaults. Examine. F in reframe is flip the script. Seeing things from an alternative perspective opens up new pathways for solutions. Obviously, you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change because of a different consciousness. Now, you can use AI to flip the script. I've been using it now for a while, and it's so powerful to ask, our ChatGPT, how would Einstein deal with this issue? How would, Bezos deal with this business issue? How would a expert in this field deal with this issue? So many business owners focus in on the negative aspects, what they don't have, what's missing, what other people want. And those aspects creates more challenges, gives them more of what's missing, what they don't want, and what other people want, instead of flipping the script by focusing in on all that they're given, by focusing in on the opportunity to innovate, co-create, collaborate, and command, work with each other. These changes in perspective often leads to the breakthroughs that make significant differences in our lives. These breakthrough ideas, innovations, collaborations that make very big, quick changes in our lives. Without these, things will happen very slowly and never all of a sudden. With these flipping the script mechanisms, things will happen very slowly, then all of a sudden. Ask yourself, what's the opposite perspective I haven't considered? Ask ChatGPT to give you different perspective, opposite perspective, challenging perspective. Ask it what you're missing. Challenge yourself to see situations from multiple viewpoints in order to facilitate, to make easy the better decisions, the learning, the growth, the lessons through responsibility, attraction, and a different participation in the perspection. REF, flip the script. Reframe, REFR, the next R is reconnect to your source, your God, your purpose, your why, and apply it. Reconnect to your purpose. When we are aligned with our purpose, when we're aligned, when we're clearing the interference between us and the omniscient, all-powerful, infinite, abundant, unified system, the pressures of these obstacles, the void shortages, can be reframed into a sense of opportunity to find the light, the love, and the lessons in what other people see as punishment, but we see as promotion, protection, love, and perfection. I work with so many entrepreneurs under pressure to meet financial goals, and when they disconnect instead of reconnect, when they're at dis-ease instead of ease, and when they're at disharmony instead of harmony with their deeper purpose, for the sake of what? You can elevate the awareness to reconnect to that harmony, ease, and shift the stress to a proactive strategy, to more energy, more opportunity. Applying our why gives context and meaning to the challenges. Just simply ask yourself, for the sake of what? Instead of I'll be happy when. Making these struggles, shortages, obstacles easier to navigate, creating an acceleration and aggregation of growth to where we want to be or better. We need to reflect, remind, reconnect with our greater mission, not to the greater commission. The greater the mission, the greater the commissions. The mission will allow the commissions to follow. Reframe the pressure that's created, the interference that's created, by viewing it as an opportunity, an option, a touch of favor to live out your purpose and apply your why by reconnecting to the greater source, the infinite amount of information, the infinite amount of energy, the infinite amount of inspiration. REFRA in reframe. Act from curiosity. Be more interested than interesting. Act from curiosity. Be more interested than interesting. Shifting from judgment, conditions, comparison to curiosity and interest allows you to remain open-minded, open-hearted, and open-handed to new ideas for growth. I work with so many employees receiving critical feedback that may react defensively to it. They may create more resistance. However, if they have an open mind, open heart, and open hand, acting in interest with curiosity, we can see the feedback as an opportunity to grow, to find through the suggestions more questions and more suggestions in order to facilitate things, to collaborate, coordinate, to make things easy, harmonious, in what we're doing that provides more productivity, more accessibility to others, and the ability to access what you want, and even more gratitude, the ability, the strength to find the light, the love, and the lessons in everything you do. Being more interested than interesting opens the door to learning and growth, while judgment and comparison and conditions close it. They create interference. It is curiosity that will open and clear this resistance and shorten the distance through wisdom and faith, with curiosity is a key component of. We need to ask ourselves, what can I learn from this? When we ask ourselves through acts of curiosity, of interest, what can I learn from this? What did I do to be responsible to attract it? What am I doing in this perspective to in this situation? And what can I learn from this? When we shift the judgment, conditions, comparisons to wonder in these challenging situations, it is truly the light, the love, and the lessons that expose itself, the protection, promotion, and perfection that comes about. In Reframe, the M represents mirror the moment. We need to have diverse perspectives. We can use technology to help us have it. We can use masterminds to help us have it. But utilizing a diverse perspective expands our awareness and challenges these assumptions that lead to richer insights, to bigger lessons, and greater growth. So many team leaders facing difficult decisions consult their team for input, and utilizing a leadership philosophy of being an intelligent follower, they're leading to a more well-rounded decisions with diversity and inclusion, and providing an equity of opportunity to all by participating in this well-rounded decision-making process. Feedback from others provides clarity, harmony, and focus. It allows you to see blind spots. And that is why we encourage people to mirror the moment, to find the light, the love, and the lessons through diversity, inclusion, and the equity of opportunity. We need to seek feedback from others in person and technologically, and to understand how other people see a situation from their varying degrees of perspective. Consider how different viewpoints may change your patterns and your choices to allow you to do, say, think, feel, and believe differently to provide different results. And then finally, in this reframe context, in this lesson, to reframe the framework by shifting the lenses of productivity, accessibility, and gratitude, we want to embody a new narrative. Embody a new narrative, new stories. The stories we tell about ourselves shapes our actions. We can't find outside of ourselves what we're not telling or seeking inside of ourselves. This new narrative can empower you to act with the purpose, passion, and intention that provide even profitability. So many of us face setbacks, and we can reframe, using this reframe, their experiences by viewing these challenges, setbacks, mistakes as opportunities, options, and touches of favor, allowing us to grow rather than to limit ourselves with the meaning we give it. It is the meaning we give the failures, the setbacks, and mistakes, the defining moments, the historical relevances that limits our own self-image, and we never will overachieve our own self-image. We need to rewrite the narrative to empower us to create new outcomes, different outcomes, break the chain, break the loop, and create these expansive, co-collaborative commandments that allow us to live a more fulfilled, passionate, purpose, and profitable life. Go ahead and write new stories about your challenging situation. Focus in on growth and strength. I know one of the most challenging situations I had was going bankrupt in 2008, losing over $100 million, including my mom's house. And it took me a while, but I was able to reframe, utilizing these mechanisms, this most punishing perspective that I had, into the greatest promotion, perfection, love, and protection by creating a new story around being saved by losing everything, saved by my wife, my mom, my best friend, and my dad, and creating this new story that I sought inside of me, which now I found outside of me, being able to make more money, help more people, and have more fun than I ever imagined, shifting my own self-image from what deemed to be punishment at the time into the greatest promotion of my career. We need to align our actions, what we do, say, think, feel, and believe, with the story, though. You have to be intentional. You can't just tell a story to yourself. You have to be intentional and create a definiteness of purpose around the embodiment of this new narrative. We need to reframe this framework, shifting the lenses, REFRAME, in order to provide us what we need. There's some drills I want to inform you, and everybody wants these lessons and drills and exercises. Just email me, david@dmeltzer.com. I'll send them to you. They're framing mechanism that helped me to shift my own divine direction. Disruptive perspective drills. We want to perturbate ourselves, so we want to take intentional action to shake up our perspective, help break free from the fixed thinking, and promote growth, collaboration, coordination in our lives. I work with so many managers who follow the same routine, and when they switch up their approach by exploring new ways to solve a recurring problem, they have created perturbation, a Thurbian disruptive perspective drill. By disrupting routines, whether it be disrupting the time, the place, the mechanism, modality, or methodology, we open up space for the creativity, collaboration, coordination, and problem solving. So we can take different routes, we can have different timings, we can switch roles of our teammates for a day, shadowing, working with, supervising. We can consume different content outside of the usual for the team, group, or individually. We could take a 24-hour complaint detox. We can journal about the bad moments. We can journal the points of view. There's a variety of things we can do to disrupt the perspective and utilize these drills in order to change the way we look at things, so the things we look at change. We want to shake it up. We want to create and disrupt the loops, the patterns, to make different and better choices. Our perspective is our superpower. We give meaning to everything that we see. We need to make our perspective our superpower. We have to understand that time and relativity are dependent upon our perspective, because those are the two most powerful things that reconcile the human experience with the infinite experience, that allow us to apply our why every day. If we don't see our perspective as our superpower, then we are giving up control. Although surrendering to the infinite as a predisposition to our perspective is essential, it is the intentional perspective that creates the superpower of relativity and time in order to effectuate a journey, a human experience, a pursuit, an inspired, applied pursuit to our best self, our potential. The ability to shift our perspective allows us to thrive in any situation, no matter what. As Viktor Frankl proved in Man's Search for Meaning, in what most people would perceive the most horrendous situations. Why David Goggins on the Aspire Business Tour is so powerful, because he embodies making your perspective a superpower. He avoids stagnation and he unlocks unbelievable growth of what the human experience can be. It's unrealistic for most of us to run marathons on knees that are broken or whatever crazy shit that guy does. But he is an icon for making our perspective a superpower, just like Viktor Frankl was in Man's Search for Meaning. So many entrepreneurs feel stuck in their business, and they can use this superpower to shift, to unlock all types of new solutions and opportunities, options, and touches of favor. It is a practice. It just doesn't happen overnight. You just can't knit yourself a perspective cape and consider yourself a superhero perspective. It has to be practiced every day in order to continue to grow, to create the aggregation, acceleration, and compounding impact that you can have. Growth lives on the other side of the shaken frame, of the shaken reframe. And on that other side lies that superpower of relativity and time to give meaning to everything you see, to change the way you look at things so the things you look at change. We need to have a practice of regularly shaking up our perspective to keep our growth alive, to apply our why to where we want to be or better. We need to embrace the challenges, setbacks, mistakes, the opportunities, options, and touches of favor to shift and evolve and revolve the way we do say, think, feel, and believe in order to shake it up, to change our lives for the better, to shorten the distance of resistance. There's so many things that we can do because we see what we believe. We need to shake it up and reframe our EFRAME, our framework, to recognize, to examine, to flip the script, to reconnect, act from curiosity, to mirror the moment and embody the new narrative, disrupt our perspective through drills, and make our perspective our superpower. Shifting our perspective is not just an exercise drill or guide, which I'll be happy to send you at david@dmeltzer.com. It's not just what I'm going to send you. It's a powerful way to unlock your full potential. When you intentionally disrupt your defaults, when you start intentionally doing, thinking, feeling, believing, and saying in alignment with where you want to be or better, you can gain the freedom to explore the light, the love, and the lessons, the new solutions, the better place, the better position, the better situation, allowing us to clear the interference between the reminders, remembrance, and reconnections with others and your source, your God, to be deeply connected and approach these challenges, setbacks, and failures with clarity, harmony, and purpose. Remember, you don't need a new life to experience growth. You don't need a new wife. You don't need a new business or job. You just need a new way of seeing the one you have. Making the perspective shift as a regular practice. Foster continuous growth, aggregation, excel. Enjoy what you don't like or don't love by changing the perspective of what you don't like or don't love. Be consistent in it as its interest, not interesting. And avoid the stagnation, which causes a constriction, a limitation of your potential. Embrace this shaking up as a superpower, a tool, and watch it transform your personal and your professional life. The ability to change how you see anything will change everything. I will repeat that. The ability to change how you see anything will change everything. Let's change everything for the better. This has been Shake Up Your Perspective Training. Feel free to email me, david@dmeltzer.com, for the guide, exercise, and books. Happy to send them to you for free, david@dmeltzer.com. All right, Nick Oblam, we did it. My knees are a little sore here in the ice room, but this is a first. I'm shaking up my perspective of Friday training. We've been doing this for over 26 years. It'll be 27 in October, which will come soon enough. Nick Oblam, can you reset the room? Nick?
Absolutely. Dave, just a quick check. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Can you hear me at all?
I can hear you.
Okay, beautiful. I have Mike here I have Mike on stage as well here as a backup, just as the reception here is a little bit spotty as we are moving and grooving at Fanatics Fest. But just as a quick reset of the room here, this has been the Shake Up Your Perspective training. For the first half, David has guided us, and now it is time for the Q&A. So for everybody online, please make sure to put your questions in the chat. And if you are live here in the Breakfast with Champions, the best room and community in Clubhouse, and you have a question for David today, please use the hand icon if you're in the audience to request to join the stage. And of course, if you're already on stage and have a question, please make sure to just put a note in the room chat and we will pass the mic over your way. Now, with that said, David, let's get rocking and rolling with the first question of the day live here on Clubhouse. We have Mr. Eric Meltzer, the Meltzer Double, no family affiliation, but he is going to be with us this evening here at Fanatics Fest and at our VIP dinner. So, Mr. Eric Meltzer, it's always great to see you. Feel free to unmute yourself and ask away.
Cool. Thanks so much. Yeah, I'm just about arriving in New York in like 20 minutes. But so excited to see you all. So the thing that I've been putting a lot of thought into, really just driving home, is perspective being everything. It's like all the challenges, all the tests I come across are really just designed to help me grow and expand myself to really just become the best self and just fulfill my goals in life. So yeah, I just really appreciate what you had to say, Dave.
I appreciate you. Do you have a question for us or just that loving comment?
No, just a loving comment today.
All right. Well, thank you for your loving comment. We look forward to seeing you. Incredible guests today, Michael Chandler, Victor Cruz. I know, like I said, Gail King is there. Tomorrow, got a great text from Gary Vaynerchuk that he'll be swinging by to do some content with me. So come and join us at our meetup, holding court, interviews, speeches, and our VIP dinner in New York at FanatiFX, or in Vegas on Sunday if you're around there. So you got both coasts covered this weekend. Nick of Wam, I love the loving comments, but anybody have a question for me?
I have a question.
Yes, go ahead, please.
All right, yeah. I go by Peace on here. Say peace.
Yo, peace.
Yes, sir. And I've been on this app for a long time. Season 1, 2021. I've been following you for a long time. And actually, before I came to Clubhouse, because I'm a fan of Bob Proctor. As you know, he read The Think and Grow Rich. So I came across the Napoleon Institute. So that's an awesome connection there. As far as inspiration, I do have a question. As far as AI goes, how do you feel people should shift their perspective as far as the job security concerns go with AI?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I've been blessed to be in technology, disruptive technology, since 1992, probably before you were born. But everybody's had the same concern when they came out with the internet, and then in the middleware space and the hardware space and the wireless space and Web 1.0, 2.0, 2.5, and now Web 3.0. Technology is here to make humans more human. And when we utilize our capabilities aligned with the technologies available to us today, there's more options, opportunities, and touches of favor. You're a fan, as I am, being the chairman of Napoleon Hill Institute, Bob Proctor being the biggest donor when he was alive to our charity, the Unstoppable Foundation, one of the most significant mentors in my life, and understanding that 98% of the people are drifters. 98% of the people don't have a definiteness of purpose. So whenever there is a new technology, a disruptive technology, a disruption in their lives, they immediately focus in on what's missing, what they don't have, the interference, the fear, react to that fear, and they create resistance in their lives. The 2% make more money, help more people, and have more fun with the disruption because they have a definiteness of purpose. So they align their skills, their knowledge, and their desires with the additional capability that's available to them through AI or wireless or hardware or 2.0, 2.5, or 3.0. And so I encourage all of you to live with a definiteness of purpose, to not be a drifter, to look at the capabilities of AI, align it with your skills, knowledge, and desire, examine what's doing well, what's stable, and what you think is doing well, and find yourself those options, opportunities, and touches of favor. Find those people that are sitting in a situation that you want to be in, ask them for help, and then utilize your skills, knowledge, and desire to help other people get to where they want to be. There is so much opportunity today that has never existed before, but we have to utilize our capabilities aligned with the new technological capabilities, aligned with what's doing well, what's stable and you think is doing well, to take advantage of it. Read Outwitting the Devil, read Think and Grow Rich, re-examine if you're a drifter or you're living in your definiteness of purpose. Are you doing, saying, thinking, feeling, and believing? Are you shaking up your perspective in order to take advantage with the new capabilities that are here today with technology to make humans more human? Does that sound fair?
Very fair, and there's a plan of action, which I love the most. So, yes, thank you so much.
Thank you, and thank you for following me for so long, and I appreciate your support, and also the acknowledgement of Bob Proctor, who has had such a significant impact on me and the Napoleon Hill Institute. So thank you so much. Either Mikey or Nick, who's up next?
Absolutely. We're going to go over to Kim for the next question, as Kim Erickson is patiently waiting. Kim, it's always good to see you here. Happy Friday. Feel free to unmute yourself and ask away.
Oh, Nick, you're amazing. David, gosh, we are so blessed to have you in our world and in our lives. I wasn't actually raising my hand. I don't know, but I was just asking how we do a replay. I'd love to send this to a number of people today. And
Sure.
So just, if you could put that in the chat or something.
Yeah. So my email is the best thing. We'll send the exercises guides to everyone and the link to the replay. It's also posted with all the different outlets that we have. We are distributing our podcast with SiriusXM, with Apple TV, with Reach TV, Google Play, iTunes, et cetera, but we'll send that link out. Anybody out there, it's posted already, david@dmeltzer.com. Please request the exercises, guides, and the replay. I myself believe in repetition and the truth. I call myself the most annoying teacher, mentor, and coach out there because I'm repetitive and truthful, which are two really annoying things to people. So go ahead, david@dmeltzer.com. Thank you so much. Nick, you want me to take a question online? Because I got a ton.
Yes, please. And then we'll come back, and I believe we have Eamon, who is live here in Clubhouse.
Very good. So Michael asks, single 31-year-old man, big network, relatively large amount of liquid assets. How I don't get taken seriously? Well, you can't find outside of you, but you can't see inside of you. So he started working as a busboy in the 3rd grade, attended 3 universities, graduated from 2, and about to get a PhD from the 4th. Look, take yourself seriously. Others will take you seriously. And so surround yourself with the right people and the right ideas. My new book that's coming out at Super Bowl, Don't Do Business with Dicks. It sounds like we're having 2 issues, and I'll be happy to help you with the inner work that's necessary to be taken seriously and to take yourself seriously, to apply your why. So email me, Michael, but we got to start the inner work. We got to start taking ourselves seriously. Others will take you seriously. And you want to evaluate the people that aren't by their relativity association and how much they're feeding you. You are well equipped, I can tell, with all your degrees and the success that you had financially, emotionally. But there's some inner work we need to do because you can't find outside of you what you can't see inside of you. We need to shake up your perspective and see where the inherited energetic and genetic deficiencies or interferences are, why you feel other people aren't taking you seriously, why you feel you're not taking yourself seriously. You may be proving to yourself something with all these degrees that you don't need to prove, because you are part and parcel to the infinite. You're just interfering with it. It's a very common problem. So reach out to me. I'd love to coach, mentor, and teach you about that inner work, and we'll double the abilities that you have. We'll make more money, help more people, and have more fun together. Very good. All right, Nick, when we bring up Iman.
Hold on one second. Hey, Iman, we are ready for your question now, so feel free to unmute yourself and ask away. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much, Nick. Thank you so much, David. And actually, as Kim just said, we're blessed to have you both here.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And you know, you told me something that is really important, that vulnerability is a strength. And to be honest, this month was really hard for me. I just emailed you told you that I kind of find my life falling apart. I lost a lot of. I'm not gonna be shy and say a lot of my money. I lost kind of them, all of them. And when you go through this, it's too hard to hold all that alone and to keep doing what you have to do. I mean, in days I feel like I can't move from my bed. It's just, I'm very disappointed. I'm blaming myself a lot, and I believe you've been there and you understand how it feels. You feel like a failure with 7 degrees. I literally hold more than 7 degrees, but a failure. I'm not kidding. This is not funny. When you tell yourself this thing, it's dumb. and to be honest, I can't deal with it right now. I can't just.
Yeah,
it is what it is.
Well, I've been there, and my basement had a basement like yours, and I have degrees like you, undergraduate, graduate degrees, law degree, business degree, doctorate degree, and that has nothing to do with the lessons that I learned from losing everything. I know that the universe won't give me anything I couldn't handle, and if I could look up, I could get up, and I wasn't going to break. I was going to bounce. And I knew I was given an opportunity to break through, shake my perspective in life, to change the behaviors that I had that put me into the infinite loop of bankruptcy, to change my own economic thermostat, my perspective and energy of money, that no longer was money going to buy me happiness and love, identity and acknowledgement. It was going to allow me to shop, and I needed to learn to shop for the right things, for the right reasons. And when I shifted that paradigm and I shook up my perspective and I said to myself, there's going to be 1,000 steps to get me back to where I want to be or better. And I know that it's going to take 90% of the effort, the money, the time, the emotion, the value to get to 1,000 steps. It's good. I don't know how long that's going to take, but things are going to happen really, really slowly. Then all of a sudden, but I knew that I needed to change my behaviors and identify the behaviors that were aligned with where I wanted to be or better, and identify the behaviors that were interfering with it, and learn to be more consistent and persistent in the pursuit of those, and with the pursuit of those good behaviors aligned with where I wanted to be or better. But I knew there was no failure in me losing everything. There was only lessons. I knew that I could handle the lessons and learn the lessons because of all my degrees, because of my capability of getting those degrees. I knew I could handle the lessons. I just need to start changing my perspective of those lessons, because right now you feel as I did when I lost everything, punished. I remember telling my mom when I lost her house in my bankruptcy, which was the only reason I wanted to make money, was to create financial security for my mom. I remember telling my mom, why am I being punished? Why? What did I do? Mom, there is no God. If there was a God, he would not do this to me. I don't believe in a God. And my mom said to me, smirked at me. She's losing her house, smirked at me and said, son, you believe in God. You just believe in the wrong God. I want you to go and do your best, learn lessons and have fun. I want you to go do your best, learn lessons and have fun. I want you to live to your potential. And I went back and took stock in who I was and what I wanted to become. And I aligned the behaviors of who I was and what I wanted to become with where I wanted to be or better. Started to realize in the definiteness of purpose of doing, saying, thinking, feeling, believing where I wanted to be, and found people like Bob Proctor, Jack Canfield, Wayne Dyer, John Asseroff, Marie Diamond, Les Brown, Brian Tracy, Dennis Waitley, Tony Robbins, and I asked them for directions. Steve Wynn, and I asked them for directions. I found the people that sit in a situation that I want to be, and I asked them for help. I asked them for directions, and then I was more capable, as I am today, 18 years later, of giving directions to others, to helping other people look up so they can get up, by giving them the tools to apply their why every single day. So as you're reacting to the fear of losing everything, with the need to be separate, inferior, superior, anxious, frustrated, angry, guilty, resentful, worried, let's shorten that distance of resistance. Let's start learning to love and enjoy the things you don't love or enjoy in a consistent, persistent pursuit of your best. You are more than capable. Let's not waste it. Let's bounce instead of break. I want you to look up. I want you to say thank you. I want you to find the light, the love, and the lessons, and take stock in the gratitude, the empathy, and the accountability in order to live in spirit, inspired, and apply your why. If you don't know what to do, I'll tell you what to do. Go help somebody else. If you can't figure out what to do yourself, then go out today and help somebody else. You're so capable with all those degrees. Go out and help other people, feed them, open doors, walk them across the street, help them with their homework. I don't care what you do. Go help someone else. If you are lost, that's the easiest and fastest thing to do. Nick?
I can thank you. I can thank you, David.
You got it.
I understand what you said.
Beautiful. Well, let's do it together. All right, Nick, we got time for at least one more.
David, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me? Mikey, you want to bring up another person?
Yep. Let's get it. Can you hear me?
Yeah, let's Mike.
Got you, buddy.
Mikey got you. Go ahead, Mikey.
Yep. All right.
Or you can ask the question
Aubrey,
yourself.
ask the question, please.
All right, Aubrey, what's up, girl?
You know I have a question.
The queen of questions, my Mrs. Reliable. Thank you.
That's right. I really am going to write a book now called I Have a Question.
I like it. It'll be a bestseller.
Yeah. I know it. It's so funny because my whole life I always got crap for asking too many questions, and you're the first person that has celebrated that gift, so it means a lot to me. So never give up, right?
Yeah.
So you have helped change my perspective so much, and so many people have complimented me on my perspective shift, and I credit you every time. I'm definitely noticing my areas of where I need to grow, where I still, and I'm taking everything in as lessons now instead of punishment. And I had two situations yesterday where I feel like I did a good job, but I know that I could be better. And I think it stemmed from a need to be offended. And that was what I calculated it down to. But I'm wondering, is there something that I can do when I'm in that situation, because I kind of panic and I want to immediately respond. And that's, I think, where I've been going wrong is, and the situations were that I thought I knew what they were trying to say to me and I responded that way. And I know that you talk a lot about that. Is there something that I can do to, in a moment where I don't have time to like sit back and think of my answer, can I switch my perspective and say, like, is there something I can tell myself to?
Yeah.
Because I had to go back and then apologize, and I want to get better at like actually list. Like, am I making any sense?
Yeah. So what we want to do is stop, drop, and roll. So actually tell yourself, when you have a reaction to fear, a need to be offended, a need to be right, a need to be angry, frustrated, angry, guilty, defensive, separate, inferior, superior, worried, get into the habit, the behavior of just saying stop. Say it internally, say it out loud, stop. And then the next step after stop is breathe through your nose, out through your mouth, which will drop and dissipate the cortisol that has been injected, the biochemical reaction to the trigger of reacting to fear. And so what I want you to do is practice stopping and breathing, stopping and breathing. So when I piss you off, just stop. Breathe through your nose, out through your mouth. When you have any reaction to fear, the good news is the reactions of fear are instant and obvious. You're not going to have to use any logic or analysis like you do to figure out what you're afraid of, all the traumas you've had in your life. But the reaction to fear is instant and obvious. Just get into the habit of saying stop, drop, breathe, and then do not say a freaking word until you are at center, at peace, at ease, at harmony. And if you need to walk away when you stop, walk away when you stop. Don't be pulled back in where someone said, don't walk away from me. You don't have anything to say. You can just keep walking. And I promise you, you will have less to forgive yourself for. And I appreciate all your questions. We're going to go, Nick, we're going to roll this thing back. I want to thank everybody. I'm going to quickly remind you, we are in New York City. Come and join us for our meetup holding court at Fanatics Fest. Our interviews, Victor Cruz, Michael Chandler, Gail King, Marshall Falk's coming tomorrow, Gary V. We'll be here Friday and Saturday. VIP dinner tonight. We always have room for more. So please email us, david@dmeltzer.com. Come and see us. And then Vegas on Sunday, meetup holding court, the Business Growth Aspire Tour, Kevin Costner, David Goggins, of course, the normal Eddie and Andrew and Timmy, everybody there. If you want the exercises and guides today, just email me, david@dmeltzer.com. Happy to send those to everybody, david@dmeltzer.com. You see it there. All the Yankee fans are plugging in. They want bagels and pizza and Chinese food. That's all great New York stuff, of course. So please email me, david@dmeltzer.com. If you haven't joined our networking group, please reach out. Thousands of people that are there to help one another and know people to help one another. So many great things going on. Please join us. New York City and Vegas this weekend. Look forward to seeing everybody. And go ahead, Nick, close out the room, or Mike, close out the room. Or I'll close out the room. All right, we'll hand that off.
I got it.
All right, go ahead.
My thumbs couldn't remove the unmute button there.
I get it.
But no, fantastic. Thank you guys for joining the Odyssey Days.
Thank you, everybody. David@dmeltzer.com. Remember, most importantly, be more interested than interesting. We got New York and Vegas this weekend. Be more. Go ahead, put the text number if you want to be invited to the 200 different things we got going on. 949-298-2905. 949-298-2905. If you don't want to be invited, don't text me, but you can text me otherwise. All right. Anyway, I got to jump to Fanatics Fest. Be more interested than interesting. Be kind to your future self and do good deeds. We'll see you later. Thank you. Hit it, Gigi.
Welcome to Office Hours, hosted by legendary sports executive, entrepreneur, and investor David Meltzer, where the brightest entrepreneurial minds in business, sports, and entertainment get together to talk about success, failure, and everything in between.
I have no self-worth tied up in Gary Vee or Gary Vaynerchuk, the entrepreneur. My self-worth is fully and utterly 100% attached to how I treat human beings.
And I think love is the answer to everything as well. Love and compassion and justice and fairness, and which are all aspects of love.
The most important question anybody can ask is, what would I do and love every day, even if I were failing?
Take a deep dive into the mind of some of the world's most impactful guests.
And the reality is, life here on Earth is very short compared to eternity. And we don't spend a lot of time thinking about eternity and what that looks like.
People get new computers, they get the new iPhones, they upgrade their apps. But when's the last time we upgraded, the technology that's created all of these things?
So I always challenge my audience and people I talk to about, sometimes is there a door in your life you have to close for other doors to open?
To share their strategies and tools to dominate their respective fields.
When we repeat anything, whether it's a constructive good pattern or a destructive bad pattern, our brain reinforces it just like a muscle.
All a belief is a story that you've said over and over again. Maybe you caught it from someone else, or you had a specific experience.
Know who you are, know what you want, and make adjustments trying to get there.
David Meltzer hosts Office Hours